The Spiderman. My neighbor was a strange man. He kept to himself. I saw him once in the garden. We talked across the fence. I couldn't see him properly. He hid himself amongst the shadows. There was something strange about him. He had many eyes, legs, and elbows. He spoke really eloquently and wheezed while he conversed. This was the first time I had met him. My strange neighbor all grungy and cursed. My name is Spiderman. I am an arachnid, friend or foe. I don't get out much at all these days, and live here all alone. We spoke for ages that morning about politics and food and wine. He told me all his favorite dishes, which sounded rich, exotic, and divine. Come for dinner, said Spiderman. Come at 5:30. I will bake you some tasty cakes and make you a special pie. His strange expression did not falter as he stared into my eyes. His grin revealed disbelieving teeth. His mouth spouted a stream of lies. That would be really lovely. In hindsight, I was a little naive. He smiled as he slowly retracted into an unusual hammock he had weaved. I came to his house that evening in my best suit and tie. The front door was already open, and as I went in, the door shut firmly behind. I was conscious of music. The walls echoed its sound, of a classical masterpiece, a familiar, stirring symphony. The needle it popped and jumped and scratched, melodically filling the air of a hideous stench of sympathy. A voice from the end of the hall quietly hissed its demands. I headed through the last door on the right. I couldn't resist its demanding charm. Come in, come in. Don't be so shy. The table is already set. A place for one is just as much fun. It was a decision I was soon to regret. The room was dimly lit, with wax-spilt candles of varying size. The walls adorned a shade of red I did not recognize. It was uninviting, with little furniture to fill. I noticed everything was encased in dust, other than a table, a chair, a leather couch, and a mirror. There was a strange and powerful, odorous musk. I sat down in his dining room. I sensed that he was near. I could see him lurking in the shadows. It was all becoming frighteningly clear. Are you not joining me? I nervously inquired. Oh yes, of course, said the Spider-Man as he poured me out a glass of wine. He danced weirdly about the room, his many limbs moving poetically across the floor, using items of furniture to pirouette and duck and bow until he stopped at a large wall mirror. I find the aggression of each instrument, played till fingers bled, an erotic addition to my dangerous thoughts. It makes me aroused to what I plan to devour, said Spiderman to his partial reflection in the mirror. There was no cutlery on the table, no plates of fresh-baked cakes. I was all alone inside his house. I sensed a huge mistake. Before I had a chance to move, he wrapped around his legs. In my ear, he whispered, "Don't you struggle, my pretty," and he softly kissed my head. I trembled with fear and loathing. I was hypnotized under his spell. Around me, he quickly spun his silky thread and licked my eyeball gel. His thread became tighter and tighter. I was unable to move. I screamed at him, "Let me go, you beast!" as he darted around the room. The Spiderman laughed hysterically. I was bound up in a webbed cocoon. I was at his mercy, licking his lips. He slowly picked up a huge spoon. His legs darted out into the blackness. As he held on to me once again, he said, "I invited you round for dinner, but I feel I need to explain. The cakes I never cooked, but I did say I would make you a pie. You are my lovely ingredients. It's time to say goodbye." He spooned out my brain juice, nibbled on my legs, and he mashed up my heart and liver. He sucked on my bones until he was full and finished me off with a stomach-churning liquor. It was all too late for me, I'm afraid, but for your own safety, you must always consider, never, ever visit the Spiderman's house alone if he decides to invite you round for dinner.